13 days and counting. But who's counting? I'm counting. Are you kidding me? Who's not counting? What is up, Fin fans? Yes, 13 days. This Sunday will be the last Sunday without football. It makes us so happy. I got some news and some notes from camp. Obviously, Doug, it's day 10. So why else would you be watching this video unless you like looking at my ugly mug, which why would you want to torture yourself like that? Some press conferences. I got a little tidbit. I got some bad news about camp. It's not bad news like player-wise, a little bit, but more bad news information-wise. I'll get to that. Before we jump into that, you already know this Saturday I will be live, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the first time I've been live since I moved out of my old place. It is the first time I've been live, and I think almost a month. So I better see a good amount of you peeps at this live stream Saturday. We're going to be talking about the cuts because that's the cut day to get to 53-man roster. I'll talk about that. But it's cut day. And I'm also going to be picking the Fantasy Football League. A lot of you guys said, hey, you should do a 12-team league. I'm doing a 12-team league. So me and the winner of last year, I don't remember who it is. I do apologize. So the winner of last year, please email me. But I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Are in, and I'm going to pick 10 of you guys. You guys know what to do already. I think it was about 2 or 3 videos ago. That's the video you tell me you want in. Don't do it here. Don't do it last video. The video that I said, hey, let me know. That's the video because I'm going to go through and I'm going to put your names in. And you have to be there at 1 p.m. until I pick. Hang out. It's going to be a fun time. I promise you that. Also, I got new patrons. I got 2 new patrons. I got, I'm going to butcher his name. I apologize. Kamali Rice. I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. $20 Patreon. You're one of my MVPs. And I got my boy Nate, who rocks his merch. If you look at the icon a little bit for patrons, he rocking my merch. Nate with the $8 Patreon. I'm going to do bigger, better tiers. Some of these tiers are going to be more in depth. You're going to hang out with me a little bit more virtually, maybe even play a few games of Madden with me. Different tiers of Patreons. And some other news and notes that happened, right? Balaj, we supposedly traded him to the Jets, and then he failed a physical with a hamstring, and now we get nothing. We don't get a 7th round pick. I'm going to take a minute and listen to the groans of the Dolphin fans. I hear nothing. It's a 7th round pick. No one gives a flip flap in the flim flam. And then the Miami Dolphins also released James Crawford, linebacker. Now, and then they added wide receiver Andy Jones, who been on the Dolphins practice squad in previous seasons. This is the start of cutting down to the 53-man roster by Saturday. And a lot of you guys say, hey, but don't they have an extended roster? Yes and no. The way it's working is the Dolphins and NFL teams are going to have a 53-man roster, but they have extra practice squad players. They get that extra bump in practice squad players. And the way that works is they are allowed to, on a week in, week out basis, add 2 players from that practice squad to the roster. Essentially, yes, making it to a 53, but by the time of Saturday, they have to be at a 55. But at the time of Saturday, they have to be at 53. And like I said, they can interchange those 2 players from the practice squad onto there as emergency players. But that is the news and notes from before I talk about the camp stuff. I'm going to change the sucker up a little bit. And we are actually going to talk about on the field stuff. And then I'm going to get to press conferences. I have Brian Flores, I have Fedulum, I have Wilkins, and I have Gazicki. I almost said Gaskins. I have Gazicki. And then we get to one of you guys' comments of the day. So the reason I'm picking to talk about the on-the-field stuff first, and I put one hand quotes because I have a piece of paper in my other hand, talk about it first is because there's not much. And you might be like, what do you mean there's not much? Did something happen? Why isn't there much? From now on, from this day forward, not day forward, but from this day until the end of the season, the media is only allowed 20-minute access to camp, which means if you thought we got less before this happened, I have about 4 lines here of Dolphin camp news on the field stuff. Normally I got a good page and a half. I don't have much. it's going to get radio silent for a while. And some people are upset about that. Some people want more. I want more stuff. I want more videos. I want more this. I get it. Because trust me, when Hard Knocks came out with the Dolphins, I loved every minute of seeing behind the scenes stuff. But having such a compacted offseason, again, it's about 40 days that they have to get ready. It is what it is. Normally, you have, I've said this so many times that I'm tired of saying it, but I'll say it one last time. You have OTAs, mini camps, training camp. And throughout that process of 4 months, there are multiple days throughout that process that their media isn't allowed into practice. And that's when they practice the stuff that they surprise us with, these certain plays that no other teams know about, all that crap, right? Being that they don't have that opportunity to say to the media, listen, today, you're not coming in. Now, not only could they not live tweet like they usually do, now until the end of the season, they're only allowed in there for about 20 minutes. So this is what I got from today. So Grant and Parker were at practice today. They were kind of doing stationary things, no helmets, no pads, no nothing. I'm hearing don't worry about it. Don't freak out about it. With the whole Parker Grant situation, I'm hearing it's just precautionary resting situation. Kirk Merritt and Hubbard weren't there though. But I will say this, if you guys go back and watch my previous videos where I kind of break down each of the positions, and I did wide receivers, I said that the Miami Dolphins have a very deep wide receiver depth chart in talent. But the biggest thing I've said throughout that whole video is they have to stay healthy and they have to get on the field. If they don't, we're screwed. And I'm hoping that with Parker and Grant, kind of riding the stationary bike for the past couple of days is more precautionary. Because if not, we're going to be dependent on these young guys. And I don't know how that's going to go. The other thing, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to talk about this when I talk about Brian Flores' press conference. Fitzpatrick was at practice today. His mother died like a day or two ago. And the man's at practice today. You can't. If any person talks bad about Fitz anymore, I'm going to throw a rotten tomato at them. This man, I hated Chad Pennington for the longest time. He was on the Jets. He always was just a pain in our ass, right? Comes to Miami, we win the division with him. He has a special place in my heart, and I give him a little bit of a pass. Fitzpatrick, I'm sorry. The man is the reason, and I'll argue with you to the day I die. Fitzpatrick is the reason the Dolphins won 5 games last year. I don't care what you say. Like I said, I got stats and facts to pack that up. And the fact that this man's on the practice field 2 days after his mother passed away is just out. And he was the first guy in the field. You got to give this man some respect. Byron Jones was working with the trainers for a little bit, but then he did practice, so nothing to really worry about there. And Patrick Laird was out there, but he still had his red jersey on. And again, that is all I got for you. They get 20 minutes of field time to look at what they were doing. And that's it. So that's all I got for you. And it's going to be radio silent for a little bit. But I think with that happening, I'm going to start going back to the way I used to do my videos because I have so many videos planned for you guys, even before Saturday's live stream. So I think I'm going to kind of go back to the way I used to. If there's breaking news, like if I get more on the field stuff, you're going to get these types of videos. And I'm still going to be doing camp videos. But I might go back to the other videos where I got videos why we should be excited for the 2020 season. I got a ton of videos. So expect those to happen this week and next week going up to the 13th. And I have to do my predictions for week 1. I got so much planned for you guys. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button yet, you're going to be missing out because I got so much of a plan for you. I don't know why I become an Italian. So we're going to talk to Brian Flores first. He already talked about Fitz is back doing his thing. Talks about Xavier Howard. He says he wants to see his fundamentals and technique and work with his communication. He says, and he knows a lot of people take those things for granted. He was here working diligently, not diligently, and he was. I feel like he's ready to go week 1. He will go week 1. But don't push him. I'm all right with him sitting and having him go home opener in front of 13,000 Dolphin fans against the Bills. Then he talks about Devontae Parker. He says he's working to get back as soon as he can. He's dealing with a minor undisclosed injury, but I'm hearing Don't worry about it, guys. Just don't worry about it. He said he built up a good amount to hopefully get right back to where he was and continue to improve and all that jazz. I hope so. I hope there's nothing wrong with him because, God, he had such an uprising season last year to shut a lot of people up, even myself being one of them. I'll own up to it. I was ready to ship Parker the flip out of here. He shut me up last season, but he's got to keep my mouth shut. Got to keep my mouth shut because if not, I'm going to start talking again. He talks about from an O-line standpoint, he made a few moves. They played Hunt with some different guys, Solomon with some different guys. He said he thought the line played well, but we can always get better with communications. He thought he played well, but I'm telling you, the scrimmage from what I heard, the defense was eaten. He says, there's a video and there's pictures of him always smiling at Rayquan Davis. So he dresses it. He says, I don't think Rayquan would agree with that. You should ask him. I'm hard on all the rookies. So maybe he's smirking at him. Maybe he said something funny. Maybe Rayquan is like Christian Wilkins. This guy says something funny, but Brian Flores says he's hard on all of them. He says the Dolphins have 3 contingencies for long snapper. One of them being Mac Hollins, the wide receiver. What? So if Blake Ferguson gets injured and Mac Hollins is on the roster, Mac Hollins would go out there and snap the ball. He said the more he could do in the league, the better, which is like, what? And you guys, a lot of you guys are asking, there's a few videos that the Dolphins released. Who is the guy with the giant fro? That's Mac Hollins. He's got that giant, beautiful fro. He talks about running backs. He says, I feel really good about all 5 guys. All are capable, competitive guys. They're all different styles of back. They are a hardworking group, competitive group. They're the one thing I'm looking forward to. Again, I chicken scratch for handwriting. But that's what Brian Flores had to say. Not even close to the bag this time. I'm losing it. That's what he had to say. So it was just a nice little update for what's happening with the team. Devontae Parker is worrying me. I don't want him to slip back to his ways. Like I said, I was one of his biggest critics. He shut me up last season. He needs to keep me shut up because I will continue. If he slumps back to the way he was when he went after Chris Chambers, when Chris Chambers was trying to give him some advice, I will continue to be like, you need to step it up, my man. Don't let these little nagging injuries, toe turf or hamstrings, hinder you from having a continuously good season, my man. But I have faith that he's going to continue doing really well. And then we talked to Fedulum. We, not me, but the media talked to Fedulum. And he talked about the interception that he got, which I have a video from the scrimmage of the interception that he got. He said, I was post high safety. I was able to get a good read, high point the ball, make the play. I'll show it again. Very good play. Very good interception. I like Fedulum. I liked Fedulum when we signed him. I told you guys he'd be a really good special teamer, and I like the way his style of play. He talks about the offseason, right? He says you have to be a pro. No one is breathing down your neck, so you have to be on top of it yourself. Especially if you're a guy that's on the border of making the team. Not saying Fedulum is, but if you are a guy who's on the border of making the team, you got to. If you don't fight, you don't do your thing. Brian Flores will notice it and get you out of there right quick. It talks about why he chose Miami, but I feel like we already know this answer from free agency. But he says I'm here because I love what Coach Flo and what they're doing down here. It's a reasonable response to that. He says, if we don't hit our fits correctly, I swear, this is what he said. If we don't hit our fits correctly, it's not a first down change. It's a scoreboard change. Meaning, essentially, if they don't hit their fit correctly, like they don't get the right spot, right zone, all that stuff, it's not just a first down change. You're giving up a touchdown, which safeties are the last line of defense. So, yes, 100%. If you're not willing to do whatever it takes here, this isn't the building for you. We're building something here. 100%. Brian Flores isn't one for half-assing it. I said ass twice in this video. Get a little potty mouth today. I apologize. And then they talked to Christian Wilkins, one of my favorite Dolphins. I love his attitude. I love his spirit. I love everything about him. He says Fitz is someone he loves, cares for a lot. Shot him a text to let him know that he's here for him and he loves him. And I can say this from the bottom of my heart, and I'm pretty sure all you Dolphin fans, even you Jet fans, Bill fans, Lion fans, Rams fans, all you guys that he played for, you know who Fitzmagic is. You know who this guy is. You know deep down he has a good heart. He's a good person. And he's a solid player, because if not, he wouldn't be here, and we're all feeling for him. So we're there for you, Fitz. He says the lack of tackling. He says, you practice the right way, it'll carry over. Everyone, that's it. I'm jumping into the next line. Because, again, chicken scratch, Doug. Everyone we have can play multiple positions, whether they are D-line, linebacker, or safety. Secondary safety. Yes, is the biggest thing that made you excel and made the Dolphins want to get you. And, again, Rayquan Mcmillan's trade had a very 50-50 side with the fans. There's a lot of people that were very upset. They thought we could have got more. They thought that we had to give up a fifth for him was stupid. We shouldn't have done that. We could have got more. If we could have got more, we would have gotten more, but I said that in the video. Also, Rayquan Mcmillan is a decent linebacker. He's a very good run-stopping linebacker. And that's it. You got to have some versatility with this defense. And that's the reason the Dolphins, shipped him out. They had him for 2019. They saw what he could do. And Brian Flores wants more out of his linebackers, so he brought in Kyle Van Noy. He brought in he brought in Gruger Hill. He brought in Roberts. And he moved on. It is what it is, guys. Then he talks about Flores going from year 1 to year 2. He says he's the same guy every day. He's going to bring it every day. I wouldn't say his approach is different, but just like you could see growth with players, you can see it with coaches as well. That's the thing. You have to grow as a coach. Not, cheap shot in him, but Adam Gase stuck in his own ways and see where that's getting him. Then he talks about the Patriots, which the Dolphins will be playing on September 13th. He said he hasn't started to look at the Patriots. He started to look at the Patriots a little bit, but still focus on camp, getting better, competing against the offense. Once camp breaks, he'll dive in head first. Then we talked to Gesicki, and again, not we as in me, but the media. I guess I consider myself the media. I don't know. He talks about Eric Rowe. He says he plays physical, uses his hands. That helps me as well. Being aware of different moves I have to be prepared for to get off press coverage. That entire safety room has done a good job on the tight ends. And yes, coming from a guy who's played multiple positions in football, so I'm a mostly D end on defense, little wide receiver on offense, you need to get off the press. And if you got a good safety or corner who's going to press you and you're not physically strong in your upper body and can get off of these press coverages, they can reroute your route. And then it might take you a second or two to get back to your route. If it's a 5 up and in, it might take you 6 up, 7 up to get in because they're pushing you away, because within the first 5 yards you can have contact. All of a sudden, quarterback drops back. He does his coverages. He expects you already to be in. You're not there. He has to hold the ball for a second. Sack. That's where you get the yin and yang from your defensive end and secondary, again, which I know very well. Because if my secondary is doing that, I know I got an extra second to get after this quarterback. Talks about Fitzpatrick. He says it's a really tough time for him and his family. I really feel for his family, for his kids, knowing him being a family guy. He's been there for his kids, wife, and dad. Yes. 100%. Talks about Durham Smythe. He says, I joke with Durham calling him an extended tackle, but he's made a ton of plays in the passing game. He'll give it back to me and tell me to go to the wide receiver room. They even understand their dynamic, and they even understand the fact that Gesicki is horrible at blocking, and he is just a pass-catching, run-routing tight end, and Durham Smythe is absolutely horrible at catching, and he's just a blocker. They even understand it, but they're working on it to get better. Then he talks about his third year. He says it helps playing with the same wide receiver quarterbacks, just the chemistry and continuity. Sometimes it's running a route and Fitz knows where I'm going to be, and I know what he's thinking. Yes, that continuity is humongous, especially with the quarterback and the wide receivers and stuff. And that's why maybe Fitz seems to be the leading guy, not even close, to being the starter for the Miami Dolphins week 1, but I will talk about that in another video where I will predict the starters and the depth chart. And I also going to do a video where I predict the season again. But that is this video. This is it. Be sure to comment below. What do you think about what Gesicki had to say? What do you think about what Fedulum had to say? What all these guys, Brian Flores, Wilkins, let me know. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What you think about the little news. The fact that the media is only 20 minutes in there. What do you think about Balaj getting the axe because his hamstrings? Because of his hamstrings. Comment below. I'm very interested in what you guys have to say about all that stuff. And I'm going to get to comment of the day. Now, I jumped on to Twitter literally maybe about 5-10 minutes before I made this video. And I noticed that a lot of you guys want me to talk about Leonard Fournette. Now, yes, he was waived from the Jacksonville Jaguars. If he was on the team for 4 or more years, he would have been cut. But being that he's only been on the team for 3 years, in the NFL for 3 years, he is waived, which means as of right now, if any of the 4 teams ahead of the Dolphins want him, they get him. If not, it's up to the Dolphins. They can claim him. But he's due a lot of money this year, I think $8 million. Do I think, because this is the question I keep getting, do I think the Miami Dolphins should, would, or are going to go after Leonard Fournette? I'm going to say no. But I'm not going to say no, I don't want them to. I'm not going to say no, they're not gonna. But I just don't feel like they are. Could that change? Could they go for him? Yeah. I think it's very possible. The fact that they traded / waived Balaj and they brought in Ahmed, right? He can easily be moved. Patrick Laird's been dealing with this nagging injury that he's now redshirting. He could be moved to practice squad. Gaskins is doing really well. Breida's doing really well. And Howard's doing really well. You got those 3 running backs, right? It is a very good possibility that the Miami Dolphins could potentially bring in Leonard Fournette. It all depends if he clears the waivers up to pick number 5. Do I think they will do it? For me right now, it's a 50-50. I said no to start it because I'm like, it's the $8 million. And it's just like they got Howard and they brought in Breida. And then there's a whole talk that the Dolphins were trying to get Leonard Fournette before they traded for Breida. And they decided to go for Breida because what the Jaguars wanted for Leonard Fournette was too rich for the Dolphins' blood. So they went for Breida. But then there was, the tweet that came out that saying they couldn't get a 5th, 6th, or 7th for him. So they decided to waive him. That's now. Back during the draft, they wanted a lot for Leonard Fournette. So, yeah, it's a good possibility they could bring him in. But he has to make it to pick 5. He has to make it past the Bengals. He has to make it past the Lions. He has to make it past the Giants. He has to make it past the Washington football team. I almost said their name. He's got to make it past them to get to the Dolphins. But he could make it past the Giants. He could make it past the Lions. He might get claimed by the Washington football team, and he might get claimed by the Bengals. So we'll see what happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. That's what I'm going to say. But, yeah. That's my answer to that for everyone who wants to know. And Logan Ryan signed with the Giants. Good for him, but way too much money the Giants paid for him. But, hey, he came back here to Jersey. Good for him. And Prince Amukamara got cut. No, we're not going for him because the secondary is already pretty stacked. But that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I'll be live Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out. If you were on the previous video and said you want to be in the fantasy league, then if you're not there Saturday, you're not in it. So hope to see you guys Saturday. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's where I get all my news. That's where I retweet all my stuff. That's where I interact with you guys the most. So be sure to do that. Check out fan2fannetwork.com, YouTube, and the Twitch stream on there. Ton. I'm the ambassador for the Miami Dolphins. I represent the Miami Dolphins on that team, on that website. So be sure to check it out. If you want more Dolphin content, you be sure to check out dolphinstalk.com. My content's on there, along with a ton of other content. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If news breaks, if we get more stuff like this, you get a video. If not, if they have off tomorrow, which I don't know if they are, I'm going to be making videos, like I said, like I usually do. So I think regardless, you'll get a video tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.